this isn't anything special video. Like, this is just a generic video, I guess. But this is a gamepad controller for a Wii U. Now, the battery inside of this thing is probably like over 10 years old by now, because these things came out in 2012. So it's probably a good thing to replace the battery, which we're going to do, because old batteries, they degrade over time, and they don't last that long now. But we'll make sure it's off. Hang on. Alright, so that's off. And then we'll go get the battery. Battery. It came from iFixit, because that batteries and stuff is tested, and it's not going to be some fake generic thing from like eBay that lying. So you don't want to get a fake battery, because that could end in disaster. So you want to make sure it's tested and it's a real battery. Right. You're gonna need a pillow or a towel or anything soft, really. Really microfiber would be better, but I don't have anything like that, so a soft pillow is the next best thing I have. Because you want to protect the screen. So, hang on, we'll just clear some space. I'll put that up here. And then we shall put that there. And you need a toolkit, which this thing I use for like models and all sorts of bits and bobs, so it'll have the screwdriver I need in that. Anyways, let's make some room. Right. So we'll pause. So there's two little screws which we just undo with a screwdriver. They're not. These screws don't come all the way out because they're captive. So I can't really film and do this at the same time. So I'm gonna do the best I can. But yeah, hang on. So the screwdriver bit you need is like 00 or 00. We just unscrew this. I can do this with one hand. I didn't think I would be able to. And then someone's been in here before, because that screw was really loose, so that's interesting. And then we just unscrew this screw until the pad lifts up. Yeah. And then we just lift this up and put that over there. Right, you don't grab these wires, you pull on the clip. But before we do that, you also need tape to tape up the ends, because you got to tape up the battery ends before you dispose of them properly, because you don't want to cause it to short circuit and set a bunch of other batteries on fire, assuming you're taking it to like an actual battery bin or something. So the battery's in here. Hang on. Well, I don't need to read what that says, but I'll explain to you why we have to do it. Because you can't see shit. There we go. Get rid of that. But yeah, a new battery, which is bigger, so it will last longer too. But it can't go in vertical like that. It has to go in sideways like that. So what we do is we pull that out like so, and then we just remove this, put that there, and then we'll pause a moment so I can unwrap everything. So this is the actual battery. Like, you just squeeze it not hard, but just gently to make sure it's not swollen or anything. Which the battery feels fine to me. And then there's like these tabs, and that just lines up in there. We might have to plug that in first, to be honest, but hang on. But yeah, you get the idea. We just plug that in there. One moment. So that's in now. I don't think the camera's going to focus. Yeah, there we go. So that's in now. And then we just put this door back on. Like, hang on. It's hard when you're trying to do everything with one hand. No, there's these tabs, so it goes in like that first. And then we get the screwdriver with the 00 Phillips bit, and we'll just screw the door down. Also, you want to make sure the wires are actually tucked away so they're not going to get pinched by the door when you put it back on, which I did off camera because it was easier. But, yeah. Alright. Now, this needs to be calibrated, so what you do is you put it on charge. When the orange light goes out, then you leave it charging for 2 hours, and then you leave it on like after the 2 hours until the battery, and then you, after the 2 hours of charging, then you leave it on until it dies completely, then you charge it back up, and then that's how you calibrate the sensor. Like, there's a chip inside that tells the gamepad how much battery it has, which has to be calibrated so the gamepad understands how much battery is actually in the console, like charge. So yeah. So now we just stick it on charge pretty much for a long time. Yeah. Yeah, we'll go do that. Yeah. Put it up on its thing. Now I need to plug it in, obviously. Which I'm not going to be able to do off camera. Hang on. Now it's charging, so when the light goes out, you keep charging it for 2 hours. And after you take it off charge after the 2 hours, you basically just leave it on until it dies completely and then charge it back up to 100%, and that should calibrate the chip inside of it. So I guess I'll come back in 2 hours and let you know how it goes. Now, fuck that. Like, you're never even going to see it off. I just thought it'd been interesting to do this on camera to make something. So yeah, the next video will be gameplay of like War Thunder or something. I don't know, man. I'm tired. But anyway, bye. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe. Ta-ta. God, did I really just say ta-ta?